Hi there, this is Michelle from Therapy Works Together, and today I'm going to talk about targeting some 2-year-old language goals when you are doing a shared book reading with your child. So today I have a YouTube video of a read aloud of the book Little Blue Truck, which is a great book for 2-year-olds, to kind of model to parents, both parents that are doing speech therapy online with us and other parents that are interested, about how to use obviously a material or an activity you already have at home, which is book reading, a great shared activity with your toddler, with your 2-year-old, but what to do with that shared book reading task and how to target some language goals that are appropriate for a 2-year-old. Now, while these are language goals that are appropriate for 2-year-olds, they might not be appropriate specifically for your 2-year-old. That's something that you need to discuss with your speech therapist, depending on the age or developmental level that your child is at and what else they might be addressing in speech therapy. So definitely talk to your speech therapist first. But I will be showing you how to target things that are or language components that are appropriate for a 2-year-old based on developmental norms, and those are the ing. So the ing ending of a word like going, sitting, quacking, driving in this case. Another one are the words in and on, which 2-year-olds start to use. For example, the frog is in the truck or the duck is on the cow. And also the plural S. So not the possessive S, importantly, but the plural S. So for example, animals, plural, tires, plural, tires, plants, right? One plant, many plants. Okay, so I'm going to do this shared book reading or show you a minute or so of how to use a book that you already have at home. Doesn't need to be any special book. But one thing I would recommend is to use a book that your child already knows. Don't, for the first time in this activity, don't use a book that they've never seen before, read before, because there's going to be too much excitement about the fact that they're seeing a new book and they're not going to really pay attention to anything else. And I'm going to press play for a little bit. We're not going to hear any sound in this shared book reading, but we're going to move along and watch the book being read. But something that is important is that your child will have seen this book already. They know the story, they know what's coming, they know what to anticipate. So that underlying knowledge is already with them, right? We're not telling them the story for the first time, and then they can clear that cognitive space to pay attention to other things. In this case, the targets that I talked about before, like the ing, the plural s, and in and on. So I'm going to I'll press pause here and let's see what we can do. So if let's say you've read this book to your child and they know the story, something that you can do, you don't always have to, if they want to have this book read to them, you don't have to, read the story as it's being written. You can flip through the book and just comment on what you see. I encourage you to comment, and after you comment, be quiet. And then you have an opportunity when you're quiet to make single word comments to really emphasize what the target is that we're trying to learn. So let's use this page as an example. So let's say your child has read this book 100 times or whatever it is. Let's target the ing. So you get to this page and your child knows, maybe you point to the horse and you say horse, right? Point to the duck and you say quack, quack, duck. Is your child repeating you? Is your child not repeating you? That's an opportunity also to, introduce new vocabulary and wait expectantly after you say that new word. Hopefully your child will repeat it or make some sort of utterance to attempt to repeat it. But here, since we're targeting, let's say, the ing, so I would get to this page and I would say, driving, driving, driving. So now I've said the word driving 3 times. You know, I'm following along with my finger. Perhaps I'm calling attention to this action that's happening. And I've done what in speech therapy we call auditory bombardment, let's say, of this word. So to bombard auditorily, you're going to do that a lot more. But you've already exposed the child 3 times to this word driving, right, with the ing ending, or raining, 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 raining. And now you don't have to overemphasize that ing or say it in an unnatural way, but just use words with that target a few times. So you're not reading the whole story. You both know the story. You've said it you've read it a million times, but you have an opportunity to really just focus on those words that are appropriate to the story. But they're also the target of what you want your child to learn, right? So we can, let's see, the story is going to keep playing. She's reading it while we're not listening to it. You can talk about the duck is on, you can say on top, right? Or maybe when we get to, oh, the rocks are in the truck, Uh-oh, I'm gonna pause here because this is perfect for the word in the mud, right? So he swerved and now he's in. So you can even use part of the story, right? He swerved. Where did I just see that? He swerved, right? And now he's in. You can use those words sort of to verbally illustrate what's happening in the story, be a little bit creative, be a little bit theatrical, and call attention to the word that you want your child to repeat. Okay, so I think that we get the story, no pun intended, for how this works. Let's see, I'll give an example for the plural S, right? We can talk about rocks. Lots of rocks. Birds. 1 bird, 2 birds. We got ahead of ourselves. Okay, here the chicken is on the cow, right? And so you can use, I'll stop here, you can use any of the stories, your child's favorite stories, any of the books that your child really likes to read. You can keep a little post-it note, in your child's room or by their bedroom library with the targets that your speech therapist is asking you to work on. In this case, I'm showing you again the ing, the plural S, and the words in and on. But you can keep a little post-it note with what your child is supposed to target, and remind yourself before you do that book reading task that this is what you would like to work on when you are reading that book. So I hope that helps, and I'll be going now. Thank you.